Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 and hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM on Facebook live stream, and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Radio Wawa, ATL FM Cape Coast, KTU Radio Koforidua. Go digital on Spotify and the myjoyonline.com app. Coming up, Guta directs members to constantly adjust prices to reflect cedi depreciation as President Akufo-Addo and Garmanche's intervention gets them to call off their strike.
The dollar has not stabilized. It's still going up and it's scary. Let's go and open our shops and always revise your prices.
Also, Professor of Finance at the University of Ghana Business School cast doubt on government's chances of securing an IMF deal before November.
The worst moment is yet to happen.
Meanwhile, Director of Communications at the presidency says government is working to turn things around.
He remains confident that sooner rather than later, these hardships would go down.
And in business,
Senior finance lecturer at the University of Cape Coast Business School calls for some level of price control of basic goods to check inflation and also protect the vulnerable in current economic challenges.
And Ghana Medical Association charges government to halt what it believes could be the start of the collapse of the health insurance scheme.
One, there will be shortage of medicines in the hospitals because the hospitals cannot procure.
And Accra Academy second-year students who suffered heavy defeat against Prosec Legon say they will be back in 2023 better and stronger.
We are going to work hard to ensure that whatever we've not covered, we'll be able to cover so that next year when we come, we'll be able to beat every school we meet.
Details as Ketasco, Adisco, Gasco, Owas and 5 other schools compete in the last quarter-final contests today. Thanks for choosing us. Joy News, independent, fearless and credible. The details now. The leadership of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, has called off its strike and directed members to reopen their shops after an intervention by President Akufo-Addo and the Garmanche. Members of GUTA on Wednesday closed their shops in the Accra Central Business District over the worsening economic conditions in the country. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in studio with a statement released by GUTA. What more does the statement say, Joseph?
And so first, on the meeting with the Garmanche, they indicate that he assured them that he reasons with them and will intervene on their behalf. In terms of the meeting with the president, an agreement has been reached for the setting up of a working committee made up of the Ministry of Trade and Industry, National Security and GUTA to swiftly come out with pragmatic measures to solve the challenges. This is why GUTA has decided to call off the strike. Joseph Obin is president of GUTA.
The dollar has not stabilized. It's still going up and it's scary. Let's go and open our shops so that we can trade, sell our goods and take care of our children. Please, whilst doing this, be mindful that you have to benchmark your pricing with the flying dollar. Otherwise, you lose off your capital. And always revise your prices according to the rate of change.
Dr. Joseph Obing then an address to some of his members after calling off their strike. Now, economist and professor of finance at the University of Ghana Business School, Godfred Bokping, is casting doubt on government's chances of securing an IMF deal before November. President Akufo-Addo, during his tour of the Ashanti region, said government was optimistic of entering into an IMF program before the budget reading in November. Professor Bokping has also said securing a deal with the IMF doesn't mean the country's problem will be addressed.
Of course, some progress has been made in terms of the IMF negotiation and all of that. But perhaps it doesn't look like a program will be in place before the budget will be presented.
Meanwhile, Director of Communication at the Presidency, Eugene Ahin, says the President is worried about the prevailing economic situation and is working to fix it.
If you look at what currently the raft of measures that are in place, for example, this collaboration, let me put it that way, with the International Monetary Fund and what it's doing, it's all geared towards ensuring that the difficulties subside a bit. And this government has not thrown its hands up in despair and allowing things to go haywire, no.
Eugene Ahin is Director of Communications at the Presidency. Now, the Ghana Medical Association GMA has charged government to halt what it believes could be the start of the collapse of the National Health Insurance Scheme. It comes after the Chamber of Pharmacy said it can no longer operate on credit basis due to inflation and fast depreciation of the cedi, among others. The GMA says this decision by the Chamber to sell drugs only on a cash basis is worrying. Dr. Frank Srebor is president of the association.
I am not an economist, but I believe something has to happen now and now. Otherwise, the rate at which we are going, this situation that we are seeing as developing is something that if we are not careful, we are going to witness some form of a disaster that is akin to what happened on the Titanic vessel. So it is important that we look at it critically and carefully because it is more or less cash and carry that is coming.
President of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Frank Srebor there. Let's turn our attention to illegal mining. #No to Galamsey. The National Democratic Congress, NDC in the Ashanti region, says government's failure to investigate and prosecute Bernard Intwibuesiako for his alleged involvement in illegal mining indicates the president has lost the fight against the menace. The NDC's regional director for communication, Abbas Nuruddin, says it's hypocritical for the president to suspend the DCE for Bosome Frehu Yao Danso while Chairman Wuntumi remains untouched. He addressed a press conference in Kumasi.
For President Akufo-Addo to have paraded such a man in front of the overlord of the Ashanti Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, and promise to tackle Galamsey is an insult of the highest degree. We are of the view that the suspension and not the outright dismissal of Yao Danso is meaningless if it does not culminate in the arrest and prosecution of the Galamsey grandpapa, Wuntumi.
You heard the Ashanti Regional NDC Director of Communications, Abbas Nuruddin. And two second-year students who represented Accra Academy at the National Science and Maths Quiz but experienced heavy defeat against Presec Legon say they'll be back in 2023 better and stronger. The two managed to maintain the school's seeded status with one of the highest scores at the 1/8 stage of the competition. However, they couldn't withstand the firepower of the Presecans, who thrashed them and won the contest with 67 points, the highest so far at the quarterfinal stage. While the two second-year students say the 34-point gap has not dampened their spirit, they say they'll be back in 2023. Maxwell Ababa has more in this report.
Well, the dream to win a 7th trophy is on course for Presec Legon. They stopped Accra Academy in their tracks right in the first round when they led with 11 points. In the second round, they led with 21 points. The final nail in the coffin for Accra Academy was in the third round when Presec Legon scored 10 out of 10 in the problem of the day. Accra Academy Pojos had 0.
We just know that we are going to work very hard, extremely hard. The way that we got on our side, we'll come even stronger, more stronger.
We're going to come back stronger.
We should expect the best from us. As we are going, we are not going to sleep. We are going to work hard. We are going to work hard to ensure that whatever we've not covered, we'll be able to cover so that next day when we come, we'll be able to beat every school we meet.
Thank you, Lord.
Mark Salababa with that report. The last 3 quarter-final contests will take place later today. The first one at 9:30 a.m. will feature St. Augustine's College, Osei-Tutu SHS and Ghana National College. Adisado College will face off with Asin State College and Swedro SHS later at 1 p.m. At 4 p.m, Ketasco will face off with the Pokuwari School and Adventist SHS Bantama.
The 2022 National Science and Maths Quiz is produced by Primetime Limited and is sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with APSA Ghana and supported by Goyle, Prudential Life Insurance, Airtel Tigo. The broadcast of the National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by Virtual InfoSec Africa, Virtual Security Africa, Vitamilk, Cowbell, Alumni by Enterprise Life, Fatex Toilet Roll, Ace Medical Insurance, Azar Group, Kings Group Limited, Family Health Medical School, DBS, ZNZ, the Basto School, Koba, and Lumitrust.
Smart App and NASCO are also part of our list of broadcast sponsors. Do get onto our Facebook page, Joy News on TV and Joy 99.7 FM for all the updates and announcement of live broadcast of these contests. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Thanks for your company. The Super Morning Show continues.